Yeah, Christina, these findings were actually presented by health professionals and child services agencies. They tell me from 2016 of June to June of 2017, the eastern region of Virginia had 42 child deaths. Now, Michelle Clayton is the medical director of the child abuse program at CHKD. She presented these numbers from the Eastern Region Child Fatality Review Team. Now, in the 2017 fiscal year, 16 of those 42 child deaths in our area were due to neglect or abuse. Now, a majority of these kids are dying in the care of their parent or caretaker. The report also shows that 94% of the children dying in abuse or neglect cases were under the age of 3. Now, Clayton says many of these deaths are preventable, but it's really going to take the community's help.
The community at large is responsible for its health. You know, no one agency can look out for every single child. It takes all of us working together to be aware of conditions that may be unfavorable for children.
Now, another interesting finding from these child deaths is that most occur due to unsafe sleeping habits.